As you've been watching the races, you may have noticed different types of obstacles that SMX riders need to master in order to get around the track. So join me as we take a closer look at them. Different obstacles require different skills, and every rider has their strengths or weaknesses that they have to work around in order to win the race. First off is the starting gate. This is the widest part of the track because they have to fit 22 riders lined up next to each other. Depending on their qualifying position, riders will be able to choose their preferred gate as long as it's still available. The 30-second card is displayed to let them know the gate will drop in about that much time. Then 5 to 10 seconds before the gate drops, the card is turned sideways and they get out of the way. The gate will drop backwards, so it will trap riders' tires if they try to go early, and it's called jumping the gate. We recently saw Chase Sexton do this in San Diego. No one knows exactly when it will drop, so riders have to have quick reflexes, great throttle and clutch control, and good traction to help get a good jump. And there's a white chalk line that usually goes into the first turn, and if a rider crosses that line first, they earn what's called the hole shot. Next is turns. The first are bank turns, which are often called bowls. They're anywhere between 45 degrees to 180 degrees. The berm is so riders can lean their bike in as they turn and go faster. And turns give an excellent opportunity for passing, giving the opportunity to make a block pass or even take other riders out. And then the following week, fans can argue whether it was dirty or not. There are also flat turns that don't have the bank, and that requires good balance in order to go fast. Kind of like how speedway dirt bike racers go around their corners.
If you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right.
Next are rhythm sections. Rhythm sections are a straight part of the track with different jumps of varying sizes. Oftentimes there are even tabletops in the middle of rhythm sections to add even more variety. Riders have to determine how to get through them the fastest. Different rhythms will be made with a combination of singles, doubles, and triples. And if your bike is powerful enough and you have no fear, some riders can do quadruples. The combinations are as endless as the rider dares to go. Hit a rhythm section smoothly and consistently to get fast laps or make passes. Get it wrong and you'll lose valuable time, or worse, crash. Next is an over-under bridge. And it's a big tabletop that helps create space in a small arena because an intersecting part of the track can go under it. But the jump can be tricky. It's very steep and sometimes has less dirt on it, making it slippery. Misjudging it can lead to some bad crashes. A big triple jump is one of the scariest looking obstacles because they're flying 35 feet in the air over the length of 2 full-size buses lined up. But once they get used to it, the triple is actually one of the only places that a supercross rider can catch their breath. Oftentimes you'll see them pull a tear off from their goggles just so they'll be able to see better for their harder obstacles up ahead. And when going off any jump, you may see riders pivot in the air. If their front end is too high, they'll pull on the clutch and hit their rear brake to bring the nose down. And if their front end is too low, they'll hit the gas to spin the back wheel and hopefully bring the nose up a little. Without fail, whoops is one of the hardest sections on the track. It's a series of small bumps that riders have to balance on their bike and use throttle control to skim over the top of as fast as possible. A slower way of doing it is usually by jumping them as a series of little doubles or triples. The whoops do break down as the race goes on, and riders may have to change up their strategy later in the race. Some riders are known for their whoop speed and can separate them from the rest of the field. My favorite rider, James Stewart, was definitely one of the best at this, and his brother Malcolm Stewart can show that whoop speed too. But get it wrong and the consequences could end your night or leave you injured. Other tricky parts can be the sand sections. This is usually meant to slow riders down as your horsepower gets eaten up by trying to get through the sand. And I know what that feels like because my favorite place to go riding is the sand dunes. But of course, your bike is set up just for the sand, and you have special tires and everything to get through it. Your suspension is usually set up for the hard parts of the track, so when you hit the sand, your bike handles worse, and your tires don't get as much traction. It can throw riders off if they're not paying attention. And another obstacle that's used to slow riders down is called the wall jump. It's usually a single jump. There's no safe way to hit it at full speed without hurting yourself. So riders have to slow down just to get over it quickly enough and get their speed back up. That is, unless your name is James Stewart. One time, he used his raw speed just to avoid the wall entirely.
Shoved him into
oh, look at it! He did it!
Gaining the fastest lap times of that night. And another time, he just had the guts to send it when no one else would.
heat race, a win would mean a lot.
Oh, there it is. That
The finish line jump is usually a big jump that's very steep, and it's often called a booter because it gives you a lot of hang time for some epic photo ops. And thinking of the word booter makes me think of another jump called a kicker. Now, kickers are not made on purpose. They form as the track breaks down and gets rough. But a kicker will actually kick the rear end of your bike up further than expected. And if you can't react fast enough or even out your bike, you're going to have a bad time. And there's one obstacle that you won't see anymore. It's called a dragon back. It's essentially a set of whoops that increase in elevation and then have a steep drop off on the other side. And from the side, it looks like the scales of a dragon's back, which is where the name comes from. But due to too many crashes, SMX decided in 2024 to retire this obstacle to avoid any further injuries.
They'll have like five whoops on the dragon back, and then the fifth one is the lowest one out of all of them, and you go hit all four of them, and then all of a sudden your front wheel goes over the last one. All you do is hit it with the back wheel, and it ate up Adam, and then I didn't see Cooper's crash, but it ate him up too. And I've seen it happen multiple times, but I don't really know what the thought process is behind there.
Riders have to constantly and consistently maneuver all these obstacles for 20 plus minutes in order to win the race. If they mess up even once, it can spell disaster. So riders aren't allowed to have microphones in their helmets, so they have to communicate with riders in other ways. One way is your mechanic can write down messages on a pit board and show them to you as you go by the mechanics area. But the track will actually have safety flaggers scattered throughout the whole track to let riders know different things. One of the flags is the yellow caution flag, and it means that there's a potential hazard as someone has maybe crashed or there's something in the roadway that riders need to slow down until they're past the yellow flag area. Passing is still allowed, but they do need to exercise caution. Red cross flags mean that a significant safety concern, like a rider down over a triple or someone laying out on the track, riders have to slow down. No jumping, no passing, or racing is allowed until they're clear of the red cross flags. And if it's really bad, a red flag will come out, where that means they have to stop the race. Depending on how much time has elapsed, they may end the race early or call for a restart. Some other flags you see will be a blue flag, and that is telling lapped riders that they're about to be overtaken by the leaders and need to move out of the way.
Move, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
In rare circumstances, they do have a black flag to tell a rider that they've been disqualified and need to get off the track as soon as possible. And like most motorsports, they'll have the green flag to start the race, white flag for the last lap, and the checkered flag for the finish. So as you can tell, there are a lot of things an SMX rider needs to do in order to get around the track and be aware of their surroundings to stay safe. So what is your favorite obstacle on the track? And what riders do you know that are really good at them? Oh, and if I missed any, please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and enjoy the races. And if you want to watch some of my other videos, click here to learn more about some of my favorite riders. Thanks for watching.